Normally I spend my weekends hanging around the house, watching some TV, doing homework, and taking short walks around the neighborhood because it's just such a nice neighborhood. And because I'm on break right now, have been for a couple weeks and I'm going to be for another couple weeks, taking the place of homework on both the weekends and weekdays, has been working on the manga that I mentioned in my last video. So this weekend, I forgot to take my flash drive to school on Friday, so I wasn't able to get some of the reference pictures that I wanted for to work on said manga. So I thought this weekend I wasn't really going to do even that much. Wasn't going to do much even on the manga or just much of anything. But today, and this is Sunday that I'm recording this, today I went to the Asha Oto Matsuri, the Asha Sound Festival, which, kind of is a music thing. And I was expecting it to be mildly entertaining, but nothing special. I was wrong. I am so glad I went. Despite being a sound festival and therefore kind of musically oriented, I didn't really hear any music that completely blew me away. A lot of the bands there did American music, classics like the first band, their name is not really much like Crocodile, but it's close enough that I keep thinking of it that way. Cocodrillo. Okay. So the first band that I heard, Cocodrillo, did like Billy Joel, and I think they said Elvis Presley. They also did our Beatles, so some British stuff too. But it's kind of English language, just big time classics. There were also some bands that actually, did Japanese, which overall I think were better. I don't know why that is. Maybe it's just that, like, the bands that feel compelled to do the English language, classic hits, I don't know, feel a little more gimmicky maybe, or maybe they weren't really as into it. But a couple of the people who did Japanese were quite a bit better. Nakara-san, I don't remember. I can't read his personal name. I can read his surname, his family name, pretty well. I think it's Nakada. It could be Nakata, but I don't think that's right. The kanji for his personal name, though, I can't make out, and I never heard it said. But he was good. Kind of standard pop fare, nothing really spectacular, but nice to listen to. And then there was Tumbling Dice, who also did kind of mostly American songs, but a little more modern. There were a few songs that were probably 70s, that I Will Survive. You all know that song. And Now You're Back from Outer Space. I just walked in to find you with that sad look upon your face, that one. So they sang that, and they were really, really good. I might say that they were maybe a little more polished musically. I might say that the lead singer had less of an accent than most of the other singers doing English, so I could make the songs out a little better. I might say that they were just hugely more enthusiastic about it, and all that is true, but I think what did it is the violin. Their band did not have a guitar player. It was keyboard, drums, bass, vocalist, violin. What? I don't know how that happened, but adding a violin to an otherwise kind of normal modern pop or rock song really often can make an impact, just this huge impact on that song. And so I'm going to say it was the violin and not any of those other perfectly valid factors I mentioned. So they were really good, and I'm glad. I almost left before they played. I'm like, it's getting late. It's getting a little late in the day. I might as well leave early. I'm like, nah, I'll stick around and see the rest of the bands. And I did, and I'm so glad I did, because Tumbling Dice was amazing. But there was more to it than music. I also saw some stage performances. I saw these three guys who did one of them did juggling, and he messed up a lot, but there were also a lot of impressive things like one-handed juggling. I don't think I've ever seen one-handed juggling before. He did a fair amount of that. And anyone who's seen Labyrinth knows the thing that David Bowie does with the glass ball, where he's moving it around and it looks like it ought to fall off his hand, but it doesn't. And I saw that on a completely different level. It's like Bowie's version is child's play. It was just amazing. It more looked like the glass ball, and he actually ended up with two of them later on in his performance. Like the glass balls were kind of hovering, and his contact on them was incidental. You got the glass ball floating in the air, and he's kind of running his hands over it. But it doesn't look like he is in any way supporting it. It just looks like it's floating there. It was stunning. And then, for lunch, I found this restaurant called Ashia Burger. And bought possibly the most expensive burger I have ever eaten. It was 900 yen, which is close to $10. But it was definitely in the top 5 best burgers I've ever eaten. And it, I think, is the only burger I can ever remember that I've actually had to eat with a fork and a knife. Sometimes they'll bring you a massive sandwich or an open-faced sandwich that you're supposed to eat with a fork and a knife instead of just picking it up and putting it in your mouth. And I never do. I always manage to pick it up and wolf it down by hand. This burger, too big, too much. The patty actually wasn't that big, but the toppings. The patty was good though. It wasn't small either. It just wasn't huge. Maybe a little less than a quarter pound probably. But so you had the bun, which was beautifully toasted. It was delicious. And you had bacon, except it was really more like a small pork chop. It was thick. It was just really thick and well grilled, and it was amazing. And then you had a slab of mozzarella cheese melted onto the burger, and it was delicious. And then beneath that you had lettuce, which I'm more appreciate now that I'm a much more vegetable heavy diet. But it's like this is not topping lettuce. This is a small salad, and it wasn't that weak limp lettuce you get on McDonald's burgers. It was fresh, crisp lettuce, and there was ketchup dripping from it. It was delicious. So I do not regret spending 900 yen on that burger. I do regret asking them to leave off the onions, because while I usually don't like onions on burgers, they don't really ruin the burger for me usually. And I think that given the rest of the burger, those onions probably would have been wonderful. And wow, I'm almost at the 10-minute limit and haven't even gotten to the really big thing. But I'm going to go ahead and stop the video now and make a second part, because that actually is a lot simpler than trying to split it. Yeah.